trying to
in my mind, if you watch the whole video, like, of an object that's about 2 days of movement. So, I mean, it makes sense to me that that's one reason. Now, you're asking what it is. Something else also, I mean, obviously, I think you kind of see there's motivation you're driving the whole boat. Okay?
Yeah, I've been in the studio just trying to get to you, baby.
Probably. Are they still recording? They very well could be.
All they laying verses, though I'd rather lay with you, baby.
Hello. There's a husband and wife getting together.
Bro and panties matching that and told you what kind of lady.
See, now we're talking about the sexy love, yeah.
The Father in heaven.
Ain't out of heaven, such a God is happening. I'm just sitting in the studio, just trying to get to you, baby. But the song's so fucking dope, girl, it's hard enough for me to play. Pussy shouty, see, I think you and me can make it. This little rush to get you naked. You need a real nigga shouty, so come and throw that pussy shouty, see, I think you and me can make it. This little rush to get you naked. You need a real nigga shouty, so come and throw that pussy shouty, see, I think you and me can make it. This little rush to get you naked. See, your heart ain't meant for drinking. Never been mistaken. See, I've been caught up in the moment.
Not only did we have Archangel Michael,
but now
doesn't mean he's still moving in his
I can hit your type without the hat. Put that pussy on the map. I see qualities in a bad girl.
This is definitely the angle.
You got what attitude, swag girl. You ain't wrong, girl. It's when that door knock, lose your thong, girl. Cause girl. I'm just sitting in the studio, just trying to get to you.
Anyway, obviously, you guys see this with a big disruption. Okay.
But the song's so fucking dope, girl, it's hard enough for me to play. Tell the truth, for sure with you in this booth that I was blazing. So I just say, throw a low-key pussy, girl, you know when they get nigga. Can I hit that pussy way I wanna while this record plays? Put my tongue in different places, play a game of operation. Like, no matter nothing like that, I'm keeping it straight point with you. I'ma put this dick up all inside of you. I'm just sitting in the studio, just trying to get to you.
See some white flashing and all that, but that's not really what I'm too concerned about.
The song's so fucking dope, girl, it's hard enough for me to play.
So I want you to come back. Stop it.
Tell the truth, for sure was you in this booth that I was blazing.
To you, babe.
DJ Smith K. I was just sitting in the studio trying to get to you, baby.
Like I said,
Chop
looking
stars.
at this stuff, man, the better off it's going to be.
But the song's so fucking dope, girl, it's hard
They're
not
not just
for me
dots.
to
If you
play.
get real close, you can kind of see like a trailing edge on both of them.
Yeah, keep the shit we shoot in this book that I explain.
Now, we got a timestamp here.
So I'm just sitting in the studio just trying to get to you. See, I've been in the studio just trying to get to you, baby. On that laying verses, though, I'd rather lay with you, baby. Bro and panties matching, nail and toes, you walk kinda lame. Angel out of heaven, such a goddess, having you. I'm just sitting in the studio, just trying to get to you, baby. But the song's so fucking dope, girl, it's hard enough for me to play. Wish in this bed, I'm playing. So I'm just trying to get to you. Need a real nigga, shawty, so come and throw that pussy, shawty. See, I think you and me can make it. To get you naked. You need a real nigga, shawty, so come and throw that pussy, shawty. See, I think you and me can make it. This little verse will get you naked. You need a real nigga, shawty, so come and throw that pussy, shawty. See, I think you and me can make it. This little verse will get you naked. See, your heart ain't meant for breaking. Cupid's never been mistaken. See, I've been caught up in the moment. Shit, my type ain't quite a type, but I just thinks the nigga own it. She can twist my weed and hit the yak. I can hit your type without the hat. Put that pussy on the map. I see qualities in a bad girl. I know that you got come with attitude and swag, girl. You ain't wrong, girl. It's when that door knock, lose your thong, girl. Cause girl. I'm just sitting in the studio, just trying to get to you, babe.
Not just the fact that position has changed.
But the song's so fucking dope, girl, it's hard enough for me to
I'm gonna go
play.
ahead and step it forward again. You see how it's
Tell the
still
truth,
moving?
for shit with you in this
And these
bed
objects,
I
they're
was playing.
changing in shape.
So
I don't know what these are. I really don't. I don't remember seeing this before. I'm not sure.
Girl, I love you, see, girl, you know when they
You know,
get
same
nigga,
basically same
babe.
direction, same speed. Now I encourage you guys to look at this
Can
yourself.
I hit that pussy way I wanna while this record plays? Put my tongue in different places, play the game out.
You know what I'm saying? Usually that doesn't happen unless there's some damage.
No metaphor, like I'm
Either case,
I'ma put this shit up all inside of you. I'm just sitting in the studio, just trying to get to you, baby.
I'm in Gray, Iowa.
The song's so fucking dope, girl, it's
Come get me,
hard
I'm in Gray.
around here. I just wanted to show you guys that. I mean, it was just something that was really strange. And the way that it started. Now this right here, that's the train itself. You can see that orb right there. One of the things that I see on these things that are just not geared up a little bit, and you'll be able to see how funky this is. Now watch here. Okay. Right here. And see them that was the day that it missed data and then went forward, and they jumped back. That's what That's what screws me up. Okay? Just saying. Alright? You're not gonna handle it doing a good distance in the same day. So we're going to reverse forward it again. So it's string, guys. I mean, that's what it looks like. I just don't know what that is. Let's watch it one more time, and then I'm gonna go on to the next thing. Gabs today, Miss Data, they're here. See him jump forward? Look at that. What in the world is that? I'm just not getting it. I don't know. Okay, we're almost there again. We'll watch it one more time. Okay, there it is. And watch it go left. Boom. See that? And it wasn't like a dot move, like it might have been something on a camera lens. This thing moved and it trailed behind it. So I don't know what this is. In my opinion, guys, this is nothing short of intelligently
Porno.
controlled. Whatever this is,
Definitely a porno.
you know, something's controlling that. That doesn't happen naturally. Okay, guys. I mean, I'm not going to speculate on what could be or a million things that could be. So, now, the next thing I want to show you guys is probably a little bit more important than what I just showed, okay? Now, like I said, I haven't done a video here in about 5 days. So this is the 5th day. What I want to do, guys, is I'm going to go back to magnetosphere here, okay? Yeah, I mean, I could do a whole video on this. Man. You know what, guys? I think that's what I'm going to do, okay? I'm going to go ahead and end this video, guys, and I'm going to put 2 of them out tonight, okay? Just look for that. I will be doing another video here shortly on the magnetosphere, what it's been doing. I want to go over some more. Also, I'm going to read off some names. I'm going to explain to you guys what I'm going to do with the stuff that you guys gave, which is great. I want them to keep them. Please send them, because I'm getting great stuff, guys. You guys did a great job out there. Keep it up. Great stuff, guys. But anyway, I'm going to end this video. We'll go ahead and just, like I said, that was kind of funky there on the HI-1, wasn't it? I mean, that was kind of weird. And then on Core 1, that picture real quick.
When is the Covenant with Many over? Right here, we got a subscriber, me and Steve both, he uses us all the time, and I'm telling you right now, he's on point. Okay, it's Kenny G. I'm sure you guys have probably heard his name over on Steve's channel. He's been around for a long time. You know, he's all in this, okay? Original gangster. You know, wearing the Nibiru bandana, that's for sure. Anyway, what he sent me here is, this is the sun, okay? Now, I'll show you the original here in a minute. Why I got arrows, I sent him this picture back with these arrows on it, because I wanted him to, I was showing him what I actually seen in the picture myself. Now, what I'm looking at here, okay, first off, he put a filter on this. I believe he just like inverted the image. What was supposed to be light is now dark, and what's dark is now light. Okay? So, the brightest thing on the picture here would be, what I noticed here is that's the sun, right? Well, we've been seeing this little appendage cloud come out a lot. Okay? Now, I don't know I don't want to speculate. I mean, I'm not even sure what I feel on this yet. Okay? So I'm not even going to talk about that part of it. But if you guys see pictures like this, I'll show you the original here in a minute. Please send them to me, okay? I'm going to start researching this a little bit more because I think it's very, very relevant here. Let me see a pattern. Sometimes we use it on the other side, okay? But it's usually about that size. That shape, okay? So, anyway, what I see here is you got your sun, right? So your sun's probably right here. Well, it's probably big sun. You got some pictures of the guy.
clearly flipping you off.
Likely what you're seeing is the corona. So, you got the sun's probably only that big. Alright, I'm serious. Keep in mind, 93 million miles away. So,
Wow.
and all this is the corona, which would be the rays that come off the sun. But it hangs together. That's what gives it its form. Now, what I'm shooting on this is the corona you see here, okay? They're actually, it's misshapen. Normal crop, right? Anyway, this has got some sort of light stuff also. Now, I'm not saying that that's what it is. I'm just saying this is just observation that I've made. And again, you see more stuff on this one. You guys ever hear his name? You guys look up at the pictures he sent you. Or you that beach show it is, because he sent some good stuff. You guys know what he's doing. Thanks, man. They did it over there in Wisconsin, right? I believe. Yeah. In Wisconsin, over there with Steve. That way, awesome. But by the way, prayers go out to Steve. I just want everybody to know that. Okay? Just pray for us for the man. About it on this show tonight. But, we really got to keep it in our thoughts. Prayers and get into, positive energy over that direction. Twisty road to find the exact truth, guys. So please don't say you know everything. You can say for confidence that, hey, I'm 99.9% whatever. But there's still that 0.1 you could be wrong. We just got to be able to admit that. That's just how I am. I love everybody. I really truly do. And don't want to hurt anybody's feelings or I don't like when people get mad at me. I'm that sensitive. I used to weigh 500 pounds. I was a big teddy bear. You could look at me and say, hey, why did you fart in the wind? I start crying. I mean, I'm sensitive. I'm a sensitive dude, basically. And, so I do take heart. And I like to say that those bad comments don't affect me in the comment section. But I'm just going to be honest with you guys. They do. They affect me. I do have to, acknowledge the fact that I have to ignore those. I do appreciate, my real side. Don't feel like you need to, but I would, my rule from day one, unless it's derogatory or you're slamming another sub, I leave the comment up. If you're attacking me, calling me names, saying I'm stupid, I'm retarded, I'll show you a couple in the next video maybe that I took screenshots of because it amazes me that people can be like that with somebody that's just trying to do the best that they can. But anyway, guys, love you guys. Look in with that photo. Is that right there? I mean, that's pretty good evidence that something was actually there. You can see it. Starts over here. Over here. Okay? I don't think camera anomalies do that. Yeah, I guess theoretically they do, but that's just me. Anyway, love you guys. God bless you. Do the same. And as always, you can drink this Kool-Aid. Blue, red, purple, matter. Drink the Kool-Aid. Drink the Kool-Aid.
He roller coaster, he
about this for a few now, guys. I've been seeing some weird stuff happening, okay? Explain here real quick while this thing's loading. Got you the ISWA site, okay? Too late, get straight.
For my motherfucking new.
The Ring of Fire seems to be heating up. Awesome. But you gotta realize, that Cascadia mountain range, when we come into these grand solar minimums, not one of the volcanoes awakes, but several awake at the same time. Adapt 2030 mini ice age conversations. Change in our climate and intensifying grand solar minimum. Overlooking, downplaying, or burying cold weather changes. Extreme rare not to occur. So you got these two sets of events just in the United States. So the whole reports are going on about how would this affect the economy, transportation, etc. if these events go off. Well, the U.S. turns into a third world nation in a matter of seconds. That's the short answer for you. Also, we got a 6.6 out in Vanuatu, Etna and Stromboli, Krakatoa again, Krakatoa you might know it by, and EBCO, in Russia, all erupting at the moment. Now, Krakatoa is an outlier too, because this is the one that went off in the late 1800s, not related to the grand solar minimum. As they exited out of the grand solar minimum, this one seemed to go off. And it hasn't been active like it is now for more than 100 years, and then it suddenly spurred to life, which is making a lot of people along Indonesia very nervous. And also the government report, if you read about their evacuation plans for Krakatoa eruption, are nothing. They don't have any. And this episode's brought to you by TrueLeafMarket.com. Heirloom and organic seeds since 1974. Full range of garden seeds, microgreen seeds, sprouting seeds, wheatgrass, grain seeds, flower seeds, herb seeds, and ground cover crop. I encourage you to take a look at the website, TrueLeafMarket.com.
My nigga front of me, he the reason I'm straight. My nigga got a house, my nigga got a lake. My nigga weak, and my nigga get a plate. I'm still here and listen, my nigga, my nigga shit, my nigga. I fuck a nigga, bitch, my nigga. If a nigga talk shit, then he ain't my nigga. But he my nigga, and I ain't going in, I tryna leave my nigga. Stop seeing me, you won't believe what a nigga, but I want enough room, cause I came with my nigga. niggas, my niggas. I need a set of wings, cause I'm too fly, nigga. Tell them all about my business, a suit and tie, nigga. I rock my nigga. I'ma ride for my motherfucking nigga. Most likely I'ma die with my finger on the trigger. I've been grinding outside all day with my niggas. And I ain't going in, that's on my nigga, my nigga, my nigga. My nigga, my nigga, my motherfucking nigga. My nigga, my nigga, my nigga, my nigga, my nigga.
Astronomy fans, today we're going to describe Jupiter's magnetic field and explain why it's so strong.
No, thank you. Excuse me.
Ladies and gentlemen, Rick Spare Elite Project. How the heck are you? This is going to be a very detailed podcast. There's a lot to discuss today. Now, Julian Assange had an interview a time ago where he was getting into what he described as intelligent, evil dust everywhere. And he said they can put it in paper, they can put it in mirrors, they can spray. It said it's everywhere and everything. So the question is, what is intelligent dust? I've heard of smart dust before. Anti smart dust. I would think so. Now, also, I want to let you know we've got a great guest on the show today, Jeffrey Daugherty. He has a wonderful YouTube channel, also a website. I'll leave the links in the video description box. But I would like you to listen to something real quick. I'd like you to listen to something real quick. Then I want to show you directly from MIT.
Keep having rolling pains in my left thigh. Horrible.
BB. It's called BB. It's literally like the new version of John Malkovich. John Malkovich. It's wild. So it's where
I don't understand why they won't let me go home and then do this.
Where this guy just relinquishes control and everything they tell him he's going to do. And they're doing that in attempts to form an evil artificial intelligence. And this is why
There's
this is
no
all
such
wild.
thing.
It's actually coming with a $2 billion program that they are spending on artificial intelligence to make it smarter and to actually make it our friend, to make it our companion, not just our tool. I'm going to share those links with you. It's really exciting, but just listen to this real quick. Intelligent evil dust. Scattered everywhere like confetti in everything. Yep, that's right. That's Julian Assange, ladies and gentlemen. Smart dust everywhere and in everything. I'll bet you that's going to make you sleep good at night. This is the BB program, the first reality augmented game where algorithms make most of the best.
I feel big, right? Like not big in the sense of weight, you know what I mean, like gaining weight or nothing like that, like colossal, like you know, like.
Emailwithme.com.
I heard you were looking for me.
Enterprise email cloud service. You can use it on your laptop, on your cell phone, on your phone.
Hello. Shit, you know. To you forever, from me to you. I heard somebody say, Church, I'ma need a suit. I'ma need a coupe. I won't need a roof. Flyer than Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. I got the flow, trust the roof. Well, put it in the you can see the proof. One eyes can look at me and see the truth. One little Stevie do. But I'ma leave it to God, not me, but even you. Cause I'm a murderer, I kill over even you. Man, I got summer hating on me cause I'm hotter than the sun. Got spring hating on me cause I ain't never sprung. Winter hating on me cause I'm colder than y'all. And I would never fall. I'm being hated by the season. So fuck y'all, hating for no reason. Real about here. Something else about me. In case you understand. Real around the world now, back again.
The size.
Yeah, another bank, bitch. While y'all asshole niggas been on the same shit, I flush them and watch them go down the drain quick. 2 words you never hear, they lose. I call them stay fools, and when they snooze, we feet up like a paraplegic or paraplegic or parallel park. There ain't no thing, let's go out in a hawk like I'm from Cali Park, but I'm from Holly Grove. Now all my blood screams Subaru and I know my role, and I played well, and I went well on my leader scale. I suck a pussy, fuck a pussy, leave it there. I won't get them even I am him. Around the world now, I'm back again. Who's been asking about me? In case you wondering, I am him. Around the world now, I'm back again. Who's been asking about me? In case you're wondering, been asking about me. In case you're wondering, yeah, I'm right here in my chair with my crown and my dear Queen Bee as I share my time with my air. You gotta go farther, go further, go harder. Is that not why we came? And if not, then why bother? Show no mercy in Marcy and Lagers. The father being the bastard that Marcy had fathered. Now my name's being mentioned with the martyrs, the biggies and the pops, the Marleys and the Marcuses. Garvey got me a Molotov cocktail flow. Even if you box well, can't stop the blow. Kaboom, the rock boy in the broom. The dope boy just came off the spoon. I'm so fly, I'm on autopilot, but guys just stare at my wardrobe. I see your roles, that's right, plural. I took so much change from this rap game, it's your goal. It's my goal, yeah. And I'ma go so opposite of soft off the Victor, Hector, Camacho, man, Randy Savage, far from average, above status, quo, flow, so, pro, I know, how about kill a man, stop running my back. Hit some bitch, you pop me and Jay-Z, don't forget me, baby. Amen.
Oh, shut the fuck up. Oh, Jesus Christ. What are you doing?
Amen. Homer. We say, baby. I've been hustling. Shit. And I swear to everything, when I leave the service, go be on both feet. The knees in the back, to try to be fucked up, but when I squeeze it hurt, it looks too loud. Yours and mine, give me any amount of time. Don't let me call the grieve at the funeral, Paula triple tears down the sleeve. Give me any amount of time. Don't let me call the grieve. My name is Susie. Go on, or you walk. I'm here on behalf of Young Money Records. And myself. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy. This that shit they didn't want me on. About to hack up a donka-donk. Shamon. Don't need sugar, I need cream, dark and strong. Put on cologne, wrong. I'm on. This that shit they didn't want. I act a ass and shit a skunk. I won't. Black your eye like will I? You really won't, cause that's me in a lamb. Disappearing Jimmy AK-47. My business partner, business is swell. French kiss the bitch, she don't speak French, can't kiss it well. Push his ass in the window well, there was well. Like ginger ale, but I'm the quickest snail. From here to hell, I hear them hell, I give them hell. I'm spitting hell, I'm clearing well, I did inhale. These frail, they Chippendales. Little girls watch me act a donkey, pin a tail, spit out your nails. Watch me act a donkey, pin a tail, spit out your nails. Glory, hallelujah. Holy shit, I'm the holy shit. I'm God's maneuver. I know how to hack a jeweler, wording not computers. I meditate like a Buddhist, holy ramen and noodles. And now you sleep, I'm inside the room with a lot of shooters. You wake up to this chopper toolers like cock-a-doodle. I'm aqua cuckoo, I turn your Fruit Loops to chocolate yoo-hoo. I'm hotter than Honolulu. Glory unto you. Glory. Dr. Cuckoo, I turn his Fruit Loops and chocolate yuku. I'm hotter than Honolulu, my clothes and socks and shoes me. I've been to boo-boo since Gaga Goo-Goo and Dada Boo-Boo. Everybody that knew the food, I got some food too. I got to chop the future like Dr. Luther. I'm not a chooser, your mama cougar, I sock it to her. The fighters, the white beluga, I like bazookas. I'm high as moon, I'm wilder than tigers, Lakers, comas. This that shit they didn't roll me on. My louder than underarms and car alarms. Cheers, I said surprise but couldn't party long. I gotta get back to the grind and the drawing board. But all this drawing is the art of war.
What if we are in a three-dimensional realm that we can perceive with our five senses, right? But what if there's other dimensions out there that we can tap into? We can't perceive with our five senses, but you can do with your brain. I mean, I've seen so much happen with hypnotherapy and past life regression, so many other things that I've physically seen through channeling and psychics that I can't explain through traditional science that I've been trained in. So if we're talking about timeline, say in 3D, we perceive it in a linear way, right? Well, what if the angels and the guides and the masters that stand or sit at a higher dimension, they sit at this fifth dimensional level of light, and they don't have the confines and limitations of, say, 3D. And have you ever thought about the variables that combine us and label us, keep us in this state of mind? Some of it has to do with thought. Thought becomes reality. That's how people in a church create a miracle, right? If we're co-creators, we have the spark of light, and we're light made in the image of God, we have a soul, right? People congregate into the church, and the more people that pray for the one thing at one time, that's how a miracle happens. There's been research into this, okay? So that's one variable. Another variable is this dense dimension that we're in. And within each dimension, I would think that there's different rules that apply that kind of dictate your experience within that dimension. Free will allows us to do what we want, when we want to do it here on this planet, in this plane. So we're not puppets on a string, right? Right? We have our own choice. We can do whatever we want. How about past lives? Does anybody believe in past lives in here? Has anybody ever experienced that? Like, oh my gosh, a deja vu, like, oh my gosh, I used to be. So lots of people, I'm speaking to the choir here. So, trying to put all these variables together into one conference is really difficult, but what I'm trying to do is paint a bigger picture of humanity's highest potential. And some of the variables that are free will, the consciousness is all around right now. Within, say, this three-dimensional realm that we're in, there's a consciousness field, and the more people believe one thing, it becomes a reality. So say there's a tipping point of, say, 80% of the people believe a certain thing, then it becomes reality.
It's on my demo. Did y'all boys not get the memo? Hanging records on my demo.
Right? Okay.
Did y'all boys not get
I'm
the
just saying what if. I'm not saying this is concrete stuff, okay? Thoughts become reality, the various dimensions, evolutionary cycles we talked about every 26,000 years, or, certain things that we put back in the fossil records. And we can see a gap in humanity, right? There's the caveman, and then there's current humans, and there's this gap in the fossil record. What happened? How did all of a sudden we jumped in evolution? Was it what we were talking about earlier? Was it that aliens came down and manipulated our DNA, and all of a sudden, within an instant, now all of a sudden we are who we are? Or could we have another theory, which is They talked about this earlier, the center of the universe having this energy that's emitted, right? And all of a sudden, by virtue of a raise in the vibratory frequency of everybody and everything, there's a raise in evolution. So in an instant, now all of a sudden, you have that. You have the answer for that.
Can I tell the truth? If I was doing this for you, then I have nothing left to prove. Nah, just for me though. I'm just trying to stay alive.
Other explanations that I've come across that make sense. Another variable is karma. You know, I think we carry karma from past lives into this life, and we create karma, whether it be good or bad, into this one, right? So that's another variable that you have to consider when you're traversing this. I also think that you've said about past lives. Many of you believe that you've had past lives,
So,
right?
according to on the other side of this live YouTube video,
Basically, I think as we live thousands of years, I think we come here within 100 years to try to get it right. I mean, wouldn't that be pretty impossible? And especially the way we look at time in a linear way. And how can we possibly think that we're such a limited species? We come here one lifetime, we get it right, or that's it, you go to hell. I mean,
how the fuck? I don't assume. I mean, I just figure out every fucking thing in the world, and I just think it's really, really cool. I think it's fucking cool. Right after the wedding.
Our spirit self, and then the ego, which we've learned from birth until now, whether it's media and all the other things. Right?
I'm the one who really get it.
Another thing that they alluded to were the controllers of this planet. I mean, you're doing me and only God can you know, you're controlled by, say, 13 families. I'm just saying what if, and where I got that from is the Universal Talk Radio show I developed after
Can I tell the truth? If I was doing this for you, then I have nothing left to prove. Nah, this for me though. I'm just trying to stay as they can take care of
these things and discuss this with experienced people such as yourself. You're coming here for education, but you're also coming here to feel, you know what, maybe I'm not alone. There's other people who have what I'm experiencing, and I need to know more about it. So when you want to talk to them, yeah, talk to the researchers because they have the facts. But you know what? You already know it exists. Deep down, you know this stuff exists. Talk to other people that are experiencing it. Yourself, myself, other people that have experience, they can help you along because once you've experienced it, how to go through it. I'm not saying everybody's path is the same. In fact, I think everybody's is different. But people who experience things can kind of help you through the process.
You would think.
One other thing I'd like to talk about is this dualistic world we live in. Hot, cold, up, down, good, bad. That's what we live in, right? So, you know, without opposition, there's no growth. And if we're made in the image of God, right? So we're these godlike beings, and outside of this physical, imitated body, we are made in the image of God. We know what heaven is. Without a veil over our eyes, we incarnate into this thing. We sing the veils off, and we know where we be any time. We know our heart's potential. Would you want to be here in this dense world and, you know, having to work every day and all that? I know I would. I'd be out of here. So I think it's important that we have to do the veil before our eyes to keep us grounded here and do the that we've come here to do. And what work is that? Well, it's because we've come here for spiritual growth, basically. And I think we're spiritual beings living out a human experience. That's it. And we perceive things with our five senses. And if you limit yourself to only believing that there's five senses to the human being and that's it, then, you know, this could be a rough road. But if you think a little bit further and say, hey, you know what? I think I am a spiritual being. I mean, look at most of the religions on the planet say that there's a soul and there's an afterlife, right? So I don't think it's the first stretch to talk about some of these other things. And how does that relate to UFOs? Well, you know, some of the things that we see are unidentified flying objects. Some of them are physical crafts, I'm sure of it. Some of them are created by our military because of, you know, finding
one that was crashed and breaking it down and putting it back together. Sure, I can get with that. But I also think that some of these things are spiritual beings or energy beings. And I think we can relate to it because we are all energy. And some of the beings that we can't physically see with our own eyes. I know there are people here that have seen things in a meditative state, such as an ET or another being, and they're at a higher dimension, and if you raise your vibration enough to get to that point to see them, you do. But you also have to have a thought and a belief that it's even possible. You know, thought becomes reality. If you have a belief that it's impossible to do any of this stuff, then guess what? You're not going to experience it. All right, so it gets back to, what do you believe? Do you believe in UFOs? Raise your hand. All right. Do you believe in psychics? Do you believe that there are people who have gifts that are just turned on? Maybe their DNA's turned up a little bit more than yours. That's all. It's a gift. Do you think we have a higher potential in humanity than what we're at right now? That's my biggest question. Do you think that we're coming here to totally destroy ourselves and rape the rainforest and kill the earth? And seriously, do you think we're at our highest potential right now? No. Right? So what is our highest potential? All these things I talked about, they're variables. They're just basically what if. And some of them are facts. I mean, you have free will. You can make your own choices here, and it's a dualistic world. The biggest thing that I've learned out of this whole thing of, my traditional education and traditional medicine and doing the other research that they don't teach in school is okay? I thought I'd go there, I would find the truth, and I'd be up on the stage like this and say, okay, this is what's going on, people. This is it. Here it is. I'm going to lay it out for you. But it's not that easy because all the variables I talked about, and because each individual person is at a different awareness. Some of you may only believe in Bigfoot and UFOs. Yeah, right, like that exists. Okay? If you're at that awareness, you're in your own perfection. I shouldn't judge you because, I was there a few years ago too. That's what unconditional love is all about. Allow the person to be who they are, where they are, and allow them to have their truth. Because you know what? You just plant a seed, have compassion for them, send them unconditional love, and allow them to grow. That's what free will is about. I'll tell you one story that I experienced up there at the East Eddy Ranch. 1 o'clock in the morning, it was the night before I was leaving. And I discussed this with James Gilliland earlier about Bigfoot because there's lots of sightings up there, And I knew it was my last night, and I wanted to experience something perfect. And I'm up there looking, nothing was going on. I was really disappointed. I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. It's like, all right, you know what? I saw so many the first night that, I just need to be satisfied with that. And I'm walking.
Trump executive order targets deep state and opens door to full disclosure. Exopolitics.org by Michael Sala. Something very profound happened in the U.S. on December 21st with the passage of President Donald Trump's executive order blocking the property of persons involved in serious human rights abuse or corruption. The order declared a state of national emergency concerning human rights and corruption.
December 21st is the day that
individuals and
I officially got
organizations
raptured
would have their bank accounts and assets frozen
and became
regardless
person
of where in the
Archangel Michael.
world the abuses had occurred. While mainstream media has largely ignored Trump's executive order, the alternative media has been paying close attention. Many have noted the executive order is far more significant than what it appears to be on the surface. Rather than just freezing the financial resources of foreign citizens linked to influence, members of the deep state, aka Cabal or Illuminati, that have been involved in human trafficking, pedophilia and systemic corruption on the planet. The language of the executive order is very open-ended in terms of international corruption and human rights abuses threaten U.S. national security. I, Donald J. Trump, President of the United States of America, and the severity of human rights abuse and corruption that have their source, in whole or in substantial part, outside the United States, such as those committed or directed by persons listed in the annex to this order, have reached such scope and gravity that they threaten the stability of international political and economic systems. The United States seeks to impose tangible and significant consequences on those who commit serious human rights abuse or engage in corruption, as well as to protect the financial system of the United States from abuse by these same persons. I therefore determine that serious human rights abuse and corruption around the world constitute an unusual and extraordinary threat to the national security, foreign policy, and economy of the United States, and I hereby declare a national emergency to deal with that threat. Its annex identifies key individuals and organizations, several of whom are clearly associated with Russia. The executive order is linked to the Global Magnitsky Human Rights Accountability Act that emerged from the murder of a prominent dissident exposing human rights abuses and corruption in Russia. This linkage can easily lead readers into falsely believing that the executive order is solely intended to target corrupt Russian officials, and corruption and human rights abuses by countries in Russia's sphere of influence. Yet, as a number of alternative media sources point out, Trump's executive order goes well beyond the Russian sphere of influence. It is really targeting the deep state, and fulfilling his 2016 campaign pledge to drain the swamp. For example, Jim Stone, a freelance journalist, writes, "The executive This isn't me, look out, 'cause here I come, and I'm marching on to the beat I drum.
5:30.
Executive order is presented as national emergency up front, right in the beginning. At first it reads like he's going